What's up, guys? Welcome to Blue Presents a podcast where I discuss all things music and how it affects my life. And today, I've got a great show today featuring my friend Kyle Smith, the drummer of the band Young Ghost. We're going to talk about, his band Young Ghost, their new single, Watch You Choke. If you haven't checked it out, please go check that out. It's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on iTunes. And then we also talk about him getting into music at the young age that he did, finding straight edge, as well as, being on the festival circuit, and being the fill-in drummer for the band Evergreen Terrace over in Europe. So really just sit back and enjoy. But before we get to that, I've got to talk about my 3 jams of the week. In my jams of the week, man, I'm going to start off with Fire from the Gods right now off their 2019 album, American Sun. This song is about trying to stay positive in a hopeless world. And I really think it is well written, extremely melodic, and even has a heavy tone. And these guys, it has a little reggae influence in there too. So if you haven't really heard this song, you should really check it out. My second one is Arms Like Yours, and the song is called Currents, and it's off their 2009 EP, Silhouette. Yes, this is a throwback that I discovered last year, basically based off of my love for the band Dayseeker. This is Rory from Dayseeker, the vocalist, band before Dayseeker. And I've read these lyrics a few times, and I want to say this is probably more of a metaphor of how to deal with your fears and emotions and other things that life can consume you with. And I think this is a really, really kick-ass song. It's old school. It has that 2007, 2008 metalcore sound to it. My last one for today is the band Misfortune, and they've got a brand new single out called Hearts on Fire. I discovered this band in 2015, and I love how they blend post-hardcore with some of that R&B feel rock music that everyone seems to be doing, and I think they do a really, really good job at it. This song is actually a lot heavier than the last record that they just put out, which was a little bit more, it had more of a flow of it, more melodic, but this song sounds like it's gotten heavier. It sounds like a couple songs off their first EP. There's a little more screaming and stuff like that, but I think this is a really kick-ass song. So those are my jams of the week. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are bumping. All right, man. Sit back and listen to this episode. Have a good day, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome to Blue Presents a podcast where I discuss all things music and how it affects my life. And today I'm extremely excited because on the line, I've got my homeboy Kyle from the band Young Ghost coming out of Jacksonville, Florida. What's up, Kyle? How's everything, man?
Yo, what up, Blue?
I appreciate you coming on the show, man. When I started putting this podcast together and writing down people I'd like to have on this show, you and Nick were like one of the, basically 1 and 2 who I wanted to have on this show. And it's because I think you guys have a really interesting story to tell when as it pertains to music and stuff. So right off the bat, I'm going to start off with my corny question, my opening question. Top 5 artists or top 5 records? You can do either one or you can do both.
Oh, all right. That's tough. But Architects, Under Oath, Paramore.
Didn't see that one coming.
Circa Survive.
Okay, yeah.
Balance and Composure.
Okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Newer artists that I would have to give an honorable mention. Because since I jammed this record, it's been on nonstop in 2018. Movements.
Okay.
Their debut record, I had that shit on repeat.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it, man. That's a pretty good solid list. I knew Architects. Wasn't expecting the Paramore. That's the one I was like, whoa, okay. All right, I'm not mad at it. I like her too.
Oh, bro, dude. I love Paramore. So catchy, so good.
Yeah.
I love the development of the band. I love their stuff.
No, there's nothing wrong with that, man. Man, I've known you since you were like 16. And when I first met you, one of the first bands I knew you were in was Back from Exile. Was that kind of like,
yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, was that kind of like your first band or was there something before that? How did it start for you, Kyle?
I think that was essentially my first band. That was like the garage band that never plays shows. That was like the high school, like, we're into music, let's start a band, but we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah. Was Josh Tyson in that band, by the way?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yes, most definitely.
Yeah, I remember that. And then shortly after I started hanging out with you guys, Rise and Shine formed, and man, that was fun. That was really fun. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yes, and that was the first real band that ever like played a
Mm-hmm.
show. We kind of like saw what other bands were doing.
Mm-hmm.
So like we linked up with local promoters and we started playing shows.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I remember those times in Justin Pitt's living room, man. Those were some good times, brother. Shout out to Justin
my
Pitts
God.
for real. Yeah. So
No, for real.
the other thing that when I first met you, I knew right off the bat, and I saw your tattoo after you first got it, is you're a straight edge, man. So can you talk about maybe some of the artists or maybe an event that made you realize that straight edge is where you belong?
I think it was a combination of things. We were 16.
Mm-hmm.
At the time, I was going to a local church, and they had a youth program going on. It was real fun, and I think it just became for me at the time like more of the cool place to be.
Mm-hmm.
And the pastor was like real aggressive, and I just remember one day he was like, if you're gonna come in here and leave the same person every week and you're not gonna change, then why are you coming? And like, don't come back. And I was like, all right, fair enough.
Fair, yeah.
So, so I said peace out to the church, and that was kind of an outlet for me to channel my morals at the time, as much morals as a 16-year-old can have.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of hardcore music that was new to me. So, but largely a lot of kids like us and Casey Jones.
Yeah. I figured as much, man. Especially coming from that Jacksonville scene.
Yeah, for sure. So the music was just, it was real fun to me. It was angry, it's pissed off, but there's a good message behind it. So, I really gravitated towards that.
No, I definitely feel that way because I remember when we first started hanging out and stuff. I mean, we went to so many shows that first year I met you guys. I think I went to more shows with you guys here in Florida than I ever did when I was living up in Mass. And shout out to Justin Pitts on that. You know what I'm saying? I remember we used to load up in his car and just hit whatever show, whether it was like Warped Tour or Taste of Chaos or anything like that.
Dude, we did so many things in his first car. Like, whether it was like loading up and going to a local Civic Center show or like the Imperial.
Yep.
Or driving to Orlando or South Georgia, whatever it was, bro. We were all over the place.
Yeah, man, for real. So in the transition from you talking about straight edge, leaving the church and stuff like that, Young Ghost is the band you're currently in right now. Young Ghost was founded around 2015, 2014. How did you guys come to be? How did the whole, I know you guys have gone through some changes, and you guys are a completely different band than when you started, but how did it start for you guys in this?
Well, it all started through another band, essentially, about 5-6 years ago. I run into my buddy Mike, who was playing bass for a band called I Am Inseeker. And I guess they had hit some speed bumps, had some people that were moving on, leaving. And he was like, yo, dude, I'm so glad I ran into you. Like, I want you to come try out for us. So I did. And then when I did that, I realized when I got to practice, /tryout for I Am Inseeker that they were short of guitarists. So naturally at the time, I'd been pretty close with my boy Nick Bailey.
Oh yeah, shout out Big Nick.
So Nick got the call. Yep. So and that was when I Am Inseeker became kind of what it ended as. So Nick actually joined on guitar. I joined on drums. We did that for maybe a couple years, and then there were some members that were kind of not as into it as we were, had some other things going on. So myself, Nick, Mike, and Adam both we put the I Am Inseeker thing to rest, and we started Young Ghost. Adam was the vocalist of I Am Inseeker. So we dropped a single with Adam on vocals. Adam got busy. Adam, he has some family priorities, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. So Adam parted ways with us, and so we're short of vocalists. We got Nick Bailey on guitar once again,
Mm-hmm.
who was a great vocalist. He had
Mm-hmm.
done other bands on vocals in the past.
Mouths
So
of Lions
naturally,
comes to mind. That's a throwback.
Mouths of Lions, Rejoice the Awakening,
Yes.
some real Jacksonville throwbacks.
Exactly.
But at the time, like kind of towards the end of I Am Inseeker, Nick started a side project where he was on vocals.
Mm-hmm.
Because he could kind of tell that I Am Inseeker wasn't really
Popping.
wasn't really running full steam.
Yeah.
So Nick was already doing a project on vocals.
Mm-hmm.
So when Young Ghosts lost their vocalist, so moving Nick to vocals, now we're short of guitarists.
Mm-hmm.
Also, when we started Young Ghosts, we started playing with our buddy Charles Booth.
Mm-hmm.
So we got Nick and Charles on guitar,
Mm-hmm.
and Adam leaves on vocals. So we moved Nick to vocals, and we're short of guitars. Well, Nick has a side project, essentially, where he is the vocalist,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't have a bass player, and they have two guitarists. So they part ways with their drummer, and we say, all right, we'll take both of your guitars.
Yeah.
A bit unnecessary, but we had fun. It was loud. It sounded real big. So now we have Young Ghosts with Nick on vocals, as you know today, and we have three guitarists. And that was our debut self-titled EP.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you hear there. It was a little bit of music that we had written with Nick and Charles, and a little bit of music that Nick had written with his side project.
Yeah.
And we just kind of
Merged
took
it
the
together.
best of both worlds and made this EP.
Yeah. No, and then that's I remember that was right around the time me and you started working together, like actually working in the same place, and you were kind of like giving me the deets on like what's going on with you. And I just remember when you were like, yeah, Nick's just gonna move to vocals, I was like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard. Like seriously, I was super amped for you guys, and like from the moment go, by the way, happy birthday, Nick, even though this probably won't come out till after, but happy birthday, Nick, real quick.
Shouts out Nick Bailey. Happy birthday.
Exactly. But no, I just remember the energy that you guys remember the first time seeing you guys. And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I have to like defend myself and being so amped about my friends' bands. But you guys are one of those bands that I believe puts out great, solid music. Everything about what you guys do is stuff that I love. Catchy choruses, heavy breakdowns, real serious subject matter, man. You guys really bring everything to the table. So with that being said, can you speak to about what it is about the writing process that you guys somehow just find a way to put it together so well and then come out with these great music, man? You guys have a knack for putting a song together, and then from back to front, it's a complete thought. Can you explain like the writing process? Who's more involved, or who do you feel like is like the driving force to make such good songs?
I think as far as like a lot of riffs go, it's been a lot of Charles and a lot of Nick.
Mm-hmm.
But I think really where we're successful in that process is, Nick will demo out a song or a part of a song, or Charles will just be at home. Charles is real old school, man. Charles, you're not going to catch him recording riffs into a computer.
Yeah.
He's going to go home and turn on his amp,
Mm-hmm.
and he's going to write some stuff.
Yeah.
So a little bit different strategies, but basically, the two of them will write, and, they'll just bring something to practice, whether it be like a couple riffs. They might have like an intro and a